She pushed all the boxes under her hospital bed and pressed the red button on top of her headboard. In a few minutes, Sister Brandy walked in with a smile. "Here I am, Kath. How are you doing today?" she said, checking out the room form attached to Catherine's bed. "I can see you had your favorite milkshake yesterday," she said, still looking at the form. "We were to have it together, remember?" She placed the form attached on the brown clipboard back on the hinge of the bed. "Why are you always leaving me out of the fun?" she asked, looking at her friend who was trying so much to smile. "You sound real alive today, Brandy," she said. "I am sorry I left you out of the milkshake experience. I just didn't know I would wake up today," she said with a choky laugh. "Please keep these safe for me. I feel less strong every day." She pointed towards the box pile stashed under her bed. Brandy and Catherine had been a friend since college. They even went to the same hospital for practice after their course. As soon as they graduated, Catherine chose to go the family way as Brandy opted to concentrate on her career. She knew about Silas and Catherine but opted to stay out of effort. When it got apparent that her friend was on a downward spiral, she tried talking Catherine out of that situation, but her friend was already too neck-deep into Silas. "I wish I had done more," she often thought ever since that day. When Catherine had told her of her intention to tell her family the truth, she encouraged her, saying, "It would give you peace in them too." This made Catherine decided to write the letters to her husband and children, as she couldn't face Ken with the truth. "Sis." Brandy took all the boxes and placed them in the wall cupboard, carefully twisting the key in place and placing it in her breast pocket. She went to Catherine's bedside and held her left hand. Her eyes were still closed, but her heart was beating. As she looked at her friend's body, she could tell that her condition was getting worse every passing day. The accident had been quite an eye-opener for her, though. It was meant to finish this journey, she thought as she looked at the beeping machines attached to her friend's body. "Silas is a real selfish character," Catherine whispered, trying to open her eyes. "I wish I could stay longer to correct all that went wrong," she added with a regretful sigh. "There is no time for regrets. Let it go so that you can truly rest when the time comes," Brandy told her, still holding her hand. "Tell Ken I will be happily waiting for him, and don't forget to tell him all the other things that I said," she said. "Take care, Brandy, and don't follow my lead." She closed her eyes and tightly squeezed Brandy's hand for a while, then finally let go. There was a silent, though quite an audible release, which Brandy was all quite familiar with by this time. She knew Catherine was gone, forever gone. She called in the floor doctor, who was on duty to handle all the protocols as it was required, as she tried reaching her friend's husband. Time of death. She could hear Dr. Abade's voice as she walked down the hall past the nurse's station. Ken was not at home. She tried calling his workplace, but he was in a meeting, so she left a message for him to call back as soon as he could. By the time he did call back, Brandy had gone through the pain spiral severally and knew it was one of the things she would have to carry in her heart for a long time. "You know you can take the day off," she had been told, but she opted to stay and bury herself in work. Ken got to the hospital as fast as he could after he was informed of his wife's passing. "I had to drive him here. He couldn't after that phone call," a friend told to Sis Brandy as Dr. Abade updated Ken on the medical report of his deceased wife. "You did well," she said. "Thank you for taking care of him. He will need that kind of support." She handed him a glass of lemonade. "Have some, this might take a while." Bernard looked at the lady handing him the glass of lemonade and thought to himself, "Where have I seen this face?" "Call me Brandy, Sister Brandy." "Catherine was a friend, not only my patient," Brandy said. "Thank you," Bernard said, sipping the lemonade. She left the visitors area for the 3 boxes Catherine had left with her. "Ken, she asked me to give you these, her last words," she said quietly, handing him the 3 boxes as Bernard looked on. Ken took the boxes, carefully looking at them. "I don't think I can deal with them right now," he whispered, trying his best to stay collected. "You don't have to right now," Brandy quietly responded, considering the weight of the information the boxes carried. "I could keep them until you decide to have them." "No, I will keep them with me. This is something of hers. Until I am ready, I will keep them." he responded, placing them on his lap. I have to go for the kids, he added, getting on his feet. I am driving, offered Bernard, who had been watching the two in silence. Thank you for the lemonade, he said, smiling politely at Sister Brandy. It was one of the best I have ever had.